Welcome back inside of the Pulse Radio Studio down here at Boise State University. You are listening to hour number 2 of today's show of Blue Collar Sports, where we like to talk all sorts of national sports talk for you. Been a great show so far for you today. If you missed it, we got it out there for you on social media, through our Twitter, our Periscopes, if you're tuning in through that right now. Go check it out. Hour number 1 is all on there. Lots of NBA and NFL free agency news. Big time stuff going on in the sports world. That's what we covered. And now we're going to go into more detail. But we were talking about it right before we went on. This will be our last hour for the next really week and a half. We will not have any shows next Tuesday and Thursday, as it is spring break down here at Boise State University. So we'll have no shows for you there. I know there's a lot going on, but we'll make sure to catch you guys up when we return on that next Tuesday, last Tuesday of March. So don't worry about that. We'll stay tuned, and we got a whole nother hour with you right here today.
Absolutely. It's been a packed show so far. It's going to be a great last hour before we head into break, like I said, Seth. And we mentioned about it before we head off from break. Last segment that we're going to talk about the NFL draft. We're going to give a quick first 1.0 mock draft of 1 through 10 of the upcoming NFL draft. And it's been an exciting offseason so far in free agency, and I think there's going to be some big-time moves heading into the draft as well, so I can't wait to get to that. And some polarizing moves that I think will happen in the draft that I didn't really see coming, and that's going to make the draft a lot more exciting than I initially thought. So I'm really excited to get to it, and we're going to give our 1.0 mock drafts.
Yeah, this is our first edition. I know we did – how many do you think we did last year, 4 or 5?
We did quite a few.
We did quite a few mock drafts. This is number 1 since free agency is over. We're starting to get more of a clearer picture, but you never know at draft time. Big rule with our drafts is there are no trades involved in our drafts, which of course there will be trades on draft night.
Absolutely.
I think there is a chance to be a lot of trades come draft night. But we're just going straight 1 through 10. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely, and I'll kick it off with my 1 through 10. I'll have my mock draft this segment. Seth, you'll have yours upcoming after mine. And so we're going to get to it. We're going to kick it off with the number 1 pick here. We know the Arizona Cardinals have the pick. We've heard maybe they could trade it. Maybe they could go quarterback. Maybe go defense, which is a very heavy defensive draft. For me, if I'm Arizona Cardinals, I got a new head coach at Cliff Kingsbury. I want his system. I'm drafting Kyler Murray number 1 to the Arizona Cardinals. I know there's no Cardinals representatives at Kyler Murray's pro day, which is a little strange.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But the thing is, no Cleveland Brown representative was at Baker Mayfield's pro day last season. So it all can change. I believe Kyler Murray will. They could bring him into the facility and talk to him. He will be an Arizona Cardinal, number 1 overall. I predicted it a couple weeks ago.
I like that.
Cliff Kingsbury, he needs his guys, and I think Kyler Murray is. I don't know if he could be the success out of any team other than this Arizona Cardinals team. For me, I don't really like any of these quarterbacks or offensive players, but I think Kyler Murray makes the most sense for one team, and that is the Arizona Cardinals. And so I want to pick a number 1 player like a quarterback with Kyler Murray, but I think in Arizona's situation here, I'd go Kyler Murray with number 1 and then try and trade Josh Rosen for a first-round pick. I believe he could get possibly a trade with the Dolphins. I know the Redskins need a team. So that's a 13th and a 15th overall pick right now. I would try to make a move. I'd draft Kyler Murray number 1 and get a defensive player with one of those later picks.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I know this is kind of one of our debates, and I'll have a different direction when we get to my top 10 on that. I don't have a single offensive player inside my top 4, which I think I don't agree with. I think there will be a trade. Someone will trade up to get an offensive player.
Yeah.
But I don't see these first 4 teams. If any of them, I do see the Cardinals taking Kyler Murray. I know it's kind of right now seems to be kind of 50-50, but definitely an interesting perspective. I would have never thought he'd be a number 1 pick.
Yeah, I didn't think it at the end of college football season, but everything I've been seeing so far, I think that is the right move to make right now. We head into the number 2 pick. That is with the San Francisco 49ers. They got D Ford now on the defensive line, which they needed help, but they could still upgrade in that, and they could get the best player available, and they get Nick Bosa, edge of from Ohio State. You put him up with D Ford on that defensive line, you're going to start building a defensive team. They also got the kid from Tampa Bay, linebacker. And so I think they're trying to build a defense that could really help their offense once Jimmy Garoppolo comes back. So I like what the 49ers are trying to build. I think they were the big winners from last season's NFL draft. I think they can have another big-time
Good free agency, too.
move this season with free agency and the draft.
Yeah, I like that pick. I'm big on Bosa. I'm going to have more on that coming up.
Number 3, your New York Jets. They're in a very good situation here. I think they're going to luck out, especially if the Cardinals get Kyler Murray with the number 1 pick. They get my favorite player in the draft. That is Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle from Alabama. Can't wait for this pick. They're going to get Quinnen Williams, put him on that D-line interior, and they're setting up a fantastic defense. And we're not even talking about their offensive moves they made with Le'Veon Bell and Crowder. So I like that they're building up a defense, and I think they're gonna be a great team next season. I think they could be a playoff team with all these moves they're making right now.
Think they could challenge the Patriots in the AFC East?
Don't know if they could get the division, but I could see them as a possible wildcard team, absolutely.
I would love to see it, that's for sure.
We got the Oakland Raiders at number 4 now. They made some moves in free agency for Antonio Brown, so they're building an offense, but they need to get some defensive players in there. They got a lot of draft picks because of the trades they made last season, and I think they're going to get the next best pass rusher. That is Josh Allen of Kentucky. I like him a lot. He did very well in the combine. He's very athletic and very productive at his time with Kentucky in the SEC. So he's a very nice pass rusher that they need, and they're going to get the best player available. That is Josh Allen to the Raiders.
Love that pick. I actually have them taking linebacker as well. Not that one, but I'll get to that when I get to mine. But Raiders, I think, are definitely going to go defense. They addressed the offense already. They got a good spot forward. They are a team I could also see trading that pick. But that'd be a good pick. If Josh Allen's still on the board, I would take him. I mean, I like this guy a lot.
The number 5 pick is to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they get, I think, a player that helped his results out from the combine in a big way. That is edge player Montez Sweat. I think he killed it at the combine. I looked up his stats. He's a fantastic player, very productive. I think Tampa Bay needs to go defense, and this is a very heavy defensive line draft. And I think Montez Sweat is the next best available player, and I think he fits well for Tampa Bay. They got their offensive pieces. They need to go defense, and I think Sweat is the guy they need.
Yeah, he's a guy that could, based off the combine, climb into the top 5. We're just going to see where he goes. Like I said, I think I said it on our last show, any other draft, I think this guy could be one of the top defensive players in the class, but this is a very defensive-heavy class, so I think he's just outside of those 3 front guys with Quinnen Williams, Josh Allen, and Nick Bosa. But this is definitely a guy not to sleep on. He could have a big impact.
Number 6 pick is the New York Giants. They also have the 17th pick now that they traded Odell Beckham away. And this is a very interesting pick. I initially thought they're going quarterback. We've kind of heard they're all in on Eli Manning now, so I don't know what they're going to do. I do have them picking Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback out of Ohio State. This is the right move to make. I do believe, though, they will be trading their 6th and 17th pick to get to number 3 or 4 for Dwayne Haskins, because I think another team like Dolphins or the Redskins are going to try to move up there too. So I think the Giants need to make a move to get into the top 3 or 4, get Dwayne Haskins, a quarterback that can learn behind Eli Manning for a season, and then take the reins with a very talented team, very young team that they can start building around with Haskins. So I think the right move for the Giants at 6 is Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, you talk about teams that want to trade it for quarterbacks. I think a big team to watch come draft night, and I think it's because I think they had a bad free agency, and they have a lot of questions still with the first-year head coach as well, but that's the Miami Dolphins. I think it's a team that really could, whether they go after Josh Rosen or go after one of these younger quarterbacks, definitely a team to keep your eye on to look to trade up. I think them and New York could be battling for a quarterback.
I would really like to see Josh Rosen in Miami with the Dolphins.
Be a better fit for him.
I think that'd be a fantastic fit for him. And I think that could be the move to make right now. But we move on to number 7 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got Nick Foles. He is their guy now. They got very good defensive players. They need to address the offensive line. They're going Jawan Taylor, the tackle from Florida. I've been hearing him move up in the rankings, and I think he will be the best tackle, the best offensive lineman available. The Jaguars need some help for Leonard Fournette. He keeps getting hurt. They need to help their franchise quarterback and Nick Foles now, so I think Jawan Taylor would be the right move to make.
Yeah, I have one offensive tackle in my top 10, different name, but it's interesting. Obviously, offensive linemen, they're not the most fun, most popular picks by a fan base inside the top 10, but look at Quentin Nelson last year. That answered everything. So, Jaguars, they got a new quarterback. They're going to need to protect him. They already got a good defense. I like that pick.
The number 8 pick is to the Detroit Lions, and it seems like they're going to be the next Patriots or something because Matt Patricia is out here signing all ex-Patriot players. So I do like what they've done though so far in free agency. I think they can upgrade this team in the draft as well. And with Matt Patricia, he's a defensive guy. He knows that defensive line very well. He wants to get a defensive player, and I think a player that kind of is slated in a lot of mock drafts, but I think has one of the best uprising and who could have one of the best impact. That is Ed Oliver of Houston. I think this will be a fantastic fit. He needs a mentor like Matt Patricia who knows his stuff, who can get him dialed. I think Ed Oliver can go to the Lions and have a heck of a career. I know they got Ndamukong very high. I think Ed Oliver is that next guy that the Lions really need.
I'd love to see him get paired with the defensive coach. This guy's kind of sliding down draft boards a little bit. He seems to be a faller, and I have him down there as well, so we'll get to that when we cover mine. But I still like him a lot. I don't know if it's his attitude issues or what it is, because I know he had a little bit of that at Houston, but the talent is there, and I think he could contribute right away.
Number 9 is the Buffalo Bills. We see them making some moves. I did initially thought they could get a receiver like DK Metcalf, but they've been signing some receivers in free agency so far. They gave Cole Beasley a shout out to Cole.
Yeah, what do you think about that? I know you're a Cowboys fan.
It hurts for the Cowboys, but obviously we're not going to pay him that kind of money.
Right.
But the sauce is going to Buffalo. That's a lot of money to give Cole Beasley. He's a nice player who could fit well for Buffalo. So it's hard to see him leave Dallas. It is, but we're going to have to replace him in the draft somehow. But I'm happy for him that he's able to get this big-time deal because did not see that coming at all. But shout out to him. Had a quick shout-out there. But Buffalo, they had the 9 pick. I could see them going many different ways. They could go I thought they could go offense with a receiver, but now I do think they should go defense. They could go D-line, watch the nice players, but I think they're going to go with the best corner, and that is Greedy Williams. I think they need a corner who can lead this team. They got some nice players also, but Greedy Williams I think will be a great fit for Buffalo. They want to be a physical team. I think Greedy Williams can be in there and really impact that defense.
I like that, Pam. I'm huge on Greedy. I know he kind of had a tough combine, but this secondary class doesn't seem to be that great, and I think he's hands down in front of it. I know Matt Murphy's up there as well, but Greedy Williams I think will be the first secondary player taken.
And then with the number 10 pick, I got the Denver Broncos taking offensive tackle from Washington State, Andre Dillard. This guy is huge. He's tall. Nobody's going to get by him. That's what the Broncos need is an offensive line. They got one last year, but they need another one. They need to address that situation. Joe Flacco's their guy now. That trade is official. They need to be able to protect him, and they go offensive line with the number 10 pick. And so that's my number 1 through 10 picks for the NFL draft. I kind of wrote out last night, I got carried away, the first full round of the NFL draft. A couple big takeaways. I do believe Rashawn Gary of Michigan is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
I wanted to put him in the top 10. I just saw some other better fits. I had him going 11 to the Bengals. They get the best player available, which I like. Number 12 with the Packers, they take best receiver available. That is DK Metcalf, who I think Aaron Rodgers needs. He gets a guy like DK. That's a fantastic move there. The Dolphins with the 13th pick, I could see them training for Josh Rosen or moving up to get a quarterback. But if not, I say they go offensive lineman Jonah Williams of Alabama. I think they need to protect whichever quarterback they get. Best linebacker is Devin White. He goes to the Falcons with the 14th pick. I also have the next quarterback at number 15 for the Redskins. They go quarterback Drew Lock of Missouri. I think he's the next best guy. Redskins need a guy. If there's not going to be Josh Rosen, if there's not going to be one of the top 2 that they trade up for, I think it could be Drew Lock at number 15. Some other noticeable players. I had the Giants taking Marquise Brown with the 17th pick that they traded for Odell Beckham. They now that they got Golden Tate, though, I can see them going a different direction.
Yeah, that Golden Tate sign's a weird deal to me.
It is, definitely. Don't know what direction they're headed to. With the Steelers with the 20th pick, they go defense with DeAndre Baker. I believe the next best corner from Georgia. Another pick I like with 21.
You have him in front of Murphy.
I do have him ahead of Byron Murphy. I got Byron Murphy going 24 to the Raiders.
Okay.
Which is another good pick I like. Fit that I do like.
They need secondary.
The best tight end I like T.J. Hookinson. The best I have him going 21 to the Seahawks, which I think will be a fantastic fit. Russell Wilson likes using them. And the best running back is Josh Jacobs. I got him going to 25 with the Philadelphia Eagles. They need a running back, and I believe Josh Jacobs will be their guy.
Yeah, Philly does need a running back. J.J. I don't think he's really talking to Philly anymore.
No, I heard he was talking to Indianapolis.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good fitting.
I know Indy was kind of rumored with the Le'Veon. I do think Marlon Mack can be a legit running back in this NFL list, so I don't know if I'd pay any guys a lot of money to play running back in Indianapolis, but J.J., great player. Obviously, Boise State guy. But interesting to see what route Philadelphia goes because they got a hole in their running back position now.
Yeah, and I still like what Philadelphia is doing, though. They're all in on Carson Wentz. They're very good defensively, so I do think Philadelphia will be a very team that a lot of people are going to watch out for next season.
Yeah, it could be. They did it 2 years ago. We'll see if they can do it next year. But that was Trevor's mock draft of his top 10, mock draft 1.0. You hear Kuiper's, you hear McShay's. Now you've heard Trevor's. But stay tuned. I'm going to give you mine coming up. You're listening to Blue Collar Sports. We got more mock drafts coming up for you right here.